Let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of Louis Armstrong? Do you ever listen to jazz? Among all jazz musicians, Louis Armstrong has probably the most unique voice ever. I'm sure if you listen to his music, you'll be ever so happy. Let's discuss.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. And this is Happy English Podcast, episode 716, using ever. The adverb ever means at any time. And that could mean at any time in the past or at any time in the future. For today's English lesson, let's look at all the different ways we use this versatile little word. We use ever in questions, negative sentences, and comparisons. Let's look at questions first. When we use ever in questions to ask someone about their experience, we use the present perfect tense. For example, have you ever heard of Louis Armstrong? Have they ever been to Times Square? Has he ever tried ziplining? Keep in mind, when answering this kind of question, and the answer is no, you can use never, which means not ever. Have you ever heard of Louis Armstrong? No, I've never heard of him before. But when answering this kind of question, and the answer is yes, don't use ever. Have you ever heard of Louis Armstrong? Yes, I have heard of him. He's a famous musician. Not, yes, I have ever heard of him. We can also use ever when we ask questions about the past, present, or future. The rules for answering these questions are the same as I just mentioned. Here are some examples.
The last time we met, you told me you lost your wallet. Did you ever find it?
No, I never found it.
Did you ever find out what happened to your old coworker, Tommy?
Yeah, I did. I heard he started his own business.
You eat a banana and yogurt for breakfast every morning. Do you ever get tired of it?
Not at all. I love it.
Do you ever wonder if there are aliens out there?
Oh yeah, all the time.
So you had eye surgery. Will you ever need to wear glasses again?
I don't think so.
Do you think the boss will ever give us a raise?
I think he never will.
Next, let's look at some negative sentences using ever. Nobody in my office has ever gotten a bonus. Neither of us has ever gone scuba diving. Nowhere will ever be as exciting as that amusement park. Of course, we can also use never to make negative sentences like this. The company has never given anyone in my office a bonus. We have never gone scuba diving. I have never been to such an exciting amusement park. We also use ever in comparative sentences. Here are some examples of that. Jimmy's grandfather is 94 years old, but he is stronger than ever. This past winter was colder than ever. Thanks for recommending that pizza shop. That was the best pizza ever. That was the most exciting amusement park ever. And finally, we use ever with only, and the grammar pattern is only followed by a noun followed by ever. For example, Jack is the only guy ever to have lunch with the CEO. My sister is the only person ever in my family to meet a famous movie star. Keep in mind, the best way to remember this and any other word or phrase in English is to take that word or phrase, write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. By the way, can you imagine getting the chance to practice this kind of English with me directly? You can get more practice using your English when you join my Podcast Learners Study Group. There, you can make new friends. Join us for live group coaching every week where we practice these podcast lessons together. Plus, you get access to the PDF transcript and audio download for every Happy English podcast in the past and in the future. And on top of that, each episode has exercises where you can practice this English point with speaking and writing checked by me. To learn more or to see some of the example sentences from this lesson, just visit myhappyenglish.com and choose Podcast Lesson 716. Remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible, and I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.